Hi, I'm Monica, and I'm the founder of Cultivate Calm Yoga in Brisbane. I'm a yoga and meditation teacher. I'm now a published author, an NLP coach, and a business and success coach. I got into yoga because I was addicted to stress and I was suffering from chronic tension headaches. And I loved how relaxed I felt after yoga. So 10 years ago, I quit my job in IT and opened a yoga studio, and I haven't looked back. I had no business experience and learned everything through trial and error. Now I teach busy, stressed, and anxious people how to relax their bodies, regulate their nervous system, and calm their minds. Now, I've had my own fair share of stress and adversity over the last 10 years, and I've used yoga and meditation to rebuild my life after breast cancer, divorce, loss of a parent, navigating the pandemic, and then having a child, becoming a mother. And after 10 years of running a successful business, I now coach others to start and grow their own wellness business. My chapter in Ignite is called What I Wish I Knew About Starting a Business. I jumped into opening my own yoga studio with no prior experience. It actually happened quite spontaneously. I had no marketing or business plan. I was young, I was naive, but I was really passionate about what I did. I learned everything through trial and error. So in my chapter, I shared what I learned so that you don't have to make the same mistakes that I did. Now, I had this belief that I think is really common to people starting out, that being good at what you do, offering a great product or service is enough. And we can be the best in the world at what we do, but if nobody knows about it, if we don't have any paying clients, if we don't have any revenue, we've got an expensive hobby, not a business. So running a successful business is more than just being good at what you do. We need to develop business skills, things like sales and marketing, things like people management, things like leadership, all of the skills that support the delivery of a fantastic product or service. And I learned this the hard way. And through the last 10 years, I've found that running a business has been a really powerful crucible for my own personal development, because our success really depends on our mindset and beliefs about our business, what we offer, and also ourselves. In my chapter, we cover everything from uncovering your zone of genius, how to ride the emotional roller coaster of business, why calm is a superpower, and marketing for introverts, and also how to find the gift in adversity. I honestly had a really hard time distilling my 10 years of lessons into one chapter, but these lessons are applicable to people who have a product business or a service business, people who have an online business or a bricks and mortar business like me, people who are just starting out, or people who are established and want to scale their business. So here we go. What I wished I knew about starting a business. Leverage your strength, find your zone of genius. Like most entrepreneurs, I had a can-do attitude and did everything possible to make my business successful. When I wasn't working in my yoga studio, I was working on spending my time learning HTML for my website, tax reporting, and email automation. When we're starting out, we have more time than money, so it made sense to spend the time learning how to do these back-end business tasks. The downside to this approach is that every hour I spent working on tasks outside of my expertise diverted my time and energy away from serving my clients and generating revenue. In The Big Leap, author Gay Hendricks introduces 4 zones in which we can operate. The first zone is the zone of incompetence, which is engaging in work in which we're unskilled or we don't understand it. And in my case, that was learning code for my website. The second zone is the zone of competence, work that many people are competent in that's not a unique skill, such as cleaning. The zone of excellence, work in which we're incredibly skilled, such as teaching yoga classes. And the fourth is the zone of genius, which is work that really ignites our unique ability and doesn't feel like work. And for me, that's creating transformational courses and programs such as Yoga Alchemy. I was spending far too much time operating in the lower zones and not enough time in my zone of excellence, and I had no time to work on my zone of genius. I learned the hard way that working long hours and doing it all only leads to burnout. And while I was too busy fussing about in non-revenue generating activity, no one was steering the ship and focused on the big picture. I knew I needed to delegate and outsource, but honestly, I had a hard time letting go of control. Starting a business can be terrifying as there are so many unknowns. Controlling the detail is how I coped with the fear. I started delegating things that I disliked, things that I found challenging, and the things that took up too much of my time. I used the time I saved from cleaning, bookkeeping, and website management to focus on self-care, business strategy, and creating additional revenue streams with courses and programs. The money I spent hiring support doubled my revenue in the second year. And the irony is that letting go of control gave me more control over my success. 2, brace yourself for the emotional roller coaster. No one tells us how running a business is like being on an emotional roller coaster. The highs and lows can be extreme. Recognizing that we can't avoid the emotional ups and downs and developing emotional skills to bring ourselves back to neutral after an upset is critical to our success. There's no shortage of emotional triggers in business, from unpredictable income, demanding clients, hiring and firing team members, and online trolls. When activated by a trigger, my natural inclination is to hide, to procrastinate, and avoid the problem for as long as possible. But we can't hide from our business, and the sooner we face the challenges and nip them in the bud, the less of a negative impact they're going to have. Emotional awareness helps us to recognize when we're activated, pause, calm ourselves, and bring ourselves back to a neutral place so that we can respond rather than react. The goal isn't to avoid experiencing a low, because that's not possible in business or life. The goal is to learn how to bring ourselves back to a neutral state so that we don't procrastinate, we don't spiral into negative thoughts and make poor decisions that we might later regret. Rather than acting from an emotional low, I allowed myself to feel my feelings. I used breath work and meditation to calm myself. I journaled to declutter my thoughts and physically moved the emotions through my body by punching a pillow or jumping up and down or silly dancing in the lounge room. The intention was to release the intense emotions in order to bring me back to a neutral state to then make calm and effective decisions. It's normal to experience the full spectrum of emotions, but when negative emotions arise, we can easily fall into a negative spiral, ruminate, and lose focus. Staying on top of my emotions with breath work, meditation, and moving my emotions through my body helped me to stay on top of my game and help me to respond to stressful situations rather than react negatively. Emotional regulation is a game changer. It's the ability to recognize what we're feeling, pause before we act, calm our nervous system, and make decisions or initiate difficult conversations from a neutral emotional state. 3, calm is a superpower and rest is productive. Ironically, I started my yoga studio because I was burned out from my corporate job. I mistakenly assumed that teaching great yoga classes would be enough and drastically underestimated how much work goes into starting and growing a business. I believed that hard work equaled success, and being a workaholic, I was in my element until my body crashed and said no. I was brainwashed into thinking that being busy results in success. I thought that success boiled down to hard work. While being busy and productive is necessary, so is rest and downtime. I learned the hard way. I told myself I'd rest when it was all done, but the reality of starting a business is the work is never all done. There is always more work to do. Even if we're doing work we enjoy, we need to give our brain a break and give our body a rest. We don't hesitate to charge our phones or refuel our cars, yet taking time to rest feels lazy, selfish, and unproductive. I felt like I needed to earn rest. Constant busyness is often a mask for anxiety, and it's how many of us cope with the uncertainty and stress. And the uncertain nature of entrepreneurship is a leading cause of stress. We convince ourselves that being busy equates to doing high quality work, but when we understand the effect that stress has on our brain and that our cognitive skills, creativity, and decision making are all impaired when we're stressed, It makes sense to take time out to cultivate calm and manage our stress. The state of our nervous system influences our mood, motivation, and mindset. The steadier our nervous system, the better we can respond to stress, navigate uncertainty, and show up and lead as our best selves rather than burning out. Burning myself out in the first year and being forced to take better care of my physical and mental health came with a considerable upside. I noticed that I had the best ideas when I was away from my business. Breakthroughs happened when I was at the beach. Flashes of inspiration and creative insights came when I was walking in nature. Some of my best and most profitable ideas came to me through meditation. When I prioritized being relaxed and calm, I made better decisions. I related better to my team and clients. I created amazing courses and programs, and my revenue increased by 110% in my second year of business. Rather than pushing, forcing, and striving, I was calm, relaxed, and energized, which had a magnetizing effect of attracting dream clients and team members to my business. I wish someone had told me that our energy either attracts or repels our clients, and that being relaxed and calm makes us better at everything. It became my superpower and my direct portal to inspiration, creativity, and foresight. When I have an important deadline and feel uninspired or blocked, rather than forcing or pushing through, I take a break and recharge my batteries because I'm at my best when I'm calm. 4. Marketing for introverts and the compounding effect of consistency. When I opened my studio, I had no marketing experience and mistakenly thought that a website and signage was all I needed to attract new clients. When that didn't work as fast as I liked, I delved into the world of marketing and was soon overwhelmed. I felt awkward promoting my business. I'm a deep introvert and a private person. I didn't want to share my life on social media. I hated being on video and avoided being the center of attention at all costs. And that's when I discovered content marketing. I learned that I could use storytelling to help people build relationships, share my personality, and solve people's problems in a way that felt aligned and congruent. Blogging and email marketing became my go-to. My focus was to share what problem we solve, which was stress and anxiety, who we help, older people who don't like going to the gym, and the result or transformation from working with us, feeling relaxed and calm. Once I found a marketing style that worked for me, I focused on doing it consistently. I'm a firm believer in consistency and that the little things done consistently add up to the big things. My clients expected my emails each week and would often reply to my emails and start a conversation. I wasn't trying to sell them anything. Rather, I was building a long-term relationship, which meant that I was front of mind when they or someone they knew had the problem that I solved. My approach is in contrast to the businesses who only send emails when they have a sale, and in between sales, they ghost their clients. That's like a friend who only calls you when they want something. It's not the kind of relationship I wanted to build. If consistency is the key to success, then mindset turns that key. If we don't believe in our product or service, or if we don't think our clients want to hear from us, then it's almost impossible to be consistent. But if we believe that we genuinely solve a problem and that clients do want to hear from us and how we can help them, then marketing becomes more of a service. And it feels so much easier to show up rather than trying to convince people to buy our stuff. 5. When life falls apart and how to find the gift in adversity. My second year of business was booming. I had it all, hundreds of happy clients, a fantastic team, and profits had doubled. And then it happened and my life fell apart. Within the space of 12 months, my marriage ended, I was diagnosed with breast cancer, and my dad died. Life brought me to my knees. It was the loneliest, scariest time of my life. I knew I would survive, but I wasn't sure if my business could. I was in full panic mode and scrambled to organize everything in my business while I had 4 surgeries and 25 rounds of radiation. I had a lot of time to think, but if I thought too much about the magnitude of my situation, I would be paralyzed with dread. I was moving house in between cancer treatment, trying to finalize my divorce, and spending precious time with my dad who was slipping away. I tried to stay present and took things one day at a time, one step at a time, one breath at a time. I focused on getting through the day, then the week, then the months. I found solace in the concept of impermanence, knowing that nothing lasts forever. I climbed out of rock bottom with a series of baby steps. I never thought of myself as a strong person. I was discovering myself again. And even in those dark days when I didn't want to open my eyes or get out of bed, I kept wondering what I could learn from this. I believed that it was all happening for a reason, and I was determined to learn all I could from this time. I had to shelve my business plans and acknowledge it wasn't my season for harvesting success. Instead, this was my winter, the season to retreat, go inward, conserve my energy, and wait. I accepted my reality, entered the fertile void where I grieved my old life and began incubating the seeds of my post-traumatic growth. The months passed, my dad slipped away, my divorce was finalized, and I got back to work. But I wasn't the same person. Something happens to us when we break down and something new breaks through. Something powerful emerges from overcoming adversity as we become wise beyond our years. Something special happens when we hit rock bottom. We bounce back higher and with more purpose. I chose to create my own meaning from this experience. Rather than seeing myself as a victim or survivor, I saw it as a necessary step in my evolution. Most public figures that I admired had overcome tremendous suffering and adversity. I knew that wisdom, courage, and compassion are forged in the fires of adversity. I saw my adversity as a gift that would be a catalyst to something greater. And in hindsight, I can honestly say that having cancer was one of the best things to happen to me personally and professionally. It transformed me into the wise, brave, and compassionate woman I am today. I've alchemized those wounds into wisdom, and it's incredibly satisfying beyond my wildest dreams to coach my clients to also thrive after adversity.